In this example, we're going to find the domain of a function that has square roots, or actually any even root. It could be a fourth root, could be sixth root, but in this case, it's just a square root. Now, we do have actually a couple of complications here that I'm going to talk about, but first, let's take just a simple square root. So imagine that the problem was to find the domain of square root of x minus 4, and that was it. Well, to do that, we need to remember that taking square roots of negative numbers is not allowed. So whatever expression you've got under the square root, that has to be greater than or equal to 0. So remember that 0 is also included because square root of 0 is 0. It is defined. Square root of 0 is fine. If you don't believe me, you can always type square root of 0 and it is 0. It's not undefined. So it's fine. So what you do is you drop the square root and you're just going to write the expression under the square root and make it greater than or equal to 0. Okay, and then you're going to solve that. So if you add 4 to both sides, that'll become x greater than or equal to 4. All right, so that's the first part. So that's x greater than or equal to 4. I'm going to graph it for now. Okay, so I will start with 4. Okay, so let's just say that 4 is over here. And it's greater than or equal to 4. So it's everything to the right of 4. Now, notice how the inequality is not strict. So 4 itself will be a solid dot. Now let's take a look at the other one. So imagine that now we're doing the domain of square root of x minus 6. This is going to be the same exact thing. This time x minus 6 will be greater than or equal to 0. And then when we add 6 to both sides, we'll get x greater than or equal to 6. Now let's graph that, and I'm going to graph that under, okay, my graph here. So 6 is like somewhere over here, and greater than or equal to 6 will be everything here. And 6 will be a solid dot because it was more than or equal to, so it wasn't a strict inequality. However, here we wind up with a little bit of trouble. 6 actually will not be okay. 4 will be, but 6 will not. Why not? Well, because square root of x minus 6 was on the bottom. When you plug 6 to the bottom, you get square root of 6 minus 6, which is square root of 0, but that's 0. But then division by 0 is not okay. So 6 itself will actually not be part of the domain. If it was just square root of x minus 6 by itself, then it would have been. But because it's under, right, on the bottom, that's why 6 itself should not be included. So 6 we have to exclude, okay? So we're going to have to make it an empty dot, okay? Now, when you talk about domain, that means that whatever x value you pick, everything should be defined. Not just the top, not just the bottom, but the whole thing. So if you pick something over here, then you are in the domain for both square root of x minus 6 and square root of x minus 4. But if you pick something over here, you will be in the domain of square root of x minus 4, but you will not be in the domain of square root of x minus 6, so the whole thing will not be defined. So the only part that's okay is the part where they overlap. And so what that's going to be is just start at 6, not include 6. You can't include 6 because then you're dividing by 0, and then going all the way to infinity. Okay, so we're overlapping them. This was a hard one.